We went through it game by game on Purple Daily today, and I think we both had them at 9 and 7, right?
We did.
Okay. So I was going to say, because you guys, like, this is actually the 9th time, I think, in the last 2 days, Judd has picked the Vikings schedule, because he did a mock schedule on scorenorth.com in which we picked the games based off Judd's mock schedule a couple days ago.
Yep.
We then did the leaked games that we knew about and picked those games yesterday. Judd did a live reaction pick on our watch along on Score North social media, and then did a column on the website, and then Purple Daily. And every time he's added a win, I feel like.
No, I kept it.
It was 4 wins off the start, and now it's up to 9.
On the stream show last night, I was at 7 and 9. I then went home and wrote a column for scorenorth.com, at which point I landed on 9 and 7.
Okay.
And then I kept that consistent with an explanation on today's Purple Daily.
Okay.
So I've been consistent for the last 2 things I've done with the Viking schedule.
So you guys have both said 9 and 7 going game by game.
Mhm.
And I want this to be my unofficial picks debut. Jonathan, can you? I don't want to keep track myself because I don't want to know. Don't tell me what my record is until the end.
Okay.
Because sometimes you do that, right? Where I got them 5 and 4, and like no.
You're like, I don't want to end up with 12 wins because that's unrealistic. Let's take it on a game by game basis and forget the big picture, is what you're saying.
And I'm not sure if 12 wins is unrealistic yet. We'll have to see.
I'm going to play along too.
All right.
I'll keep track too. This is going to be too much fun.
You'll keep track of me. Or you're gonna pick again.
No. I'm keeping track of yours.
He wants to see if he ends up with yet another different win total than he's had the first 5 times that he's done it.
I'm going to jot down here 72 Dolphins and see if Phil has the Vikings matching the 72 Dolphins.
All right, that's fine. All right. Week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons at home. This is so the Vikings' home schedule is actually really favorable if you look, but there's a few games like Philadelphia at home is not a gimme at all. Aaron Rodgers is never a gimme at home, and the Bears are tough. Atlanta's I think there's 4 pretty much gimme games at home, which we'll get to. Atlanta's not one of them, but it's kind of in the middle. I'm going to say they win that opening game against Atlanta. The Vikings have had some really nice opening week performances by quarterbacks in recent years too, from Sam Bradford, Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to say crowd noise and early feel good win against Atlanta. All right.
Okay.
Feel free to chime in, you guys, with your analysis here if you think
I also have them
Off track.
beating Atlanta. I think they're 2 somewhat evenly matched teams. I think the Vikings are a little bit better football team, and you throw in home field advantage. They start off the season with the win.
Okay.
Mhm.
At Green Bay in week 2, I'm going to say that's a loss. 1-1. I think I had them sweeping Green Bay in one of the mocks.
You did.
I'm coming back off that
Early
a little
on,
bit.
you did, yes.
Okay.
And Rami started with that. You started with that one
Yeah,
as
and then I flip-flopped
win
it.
and
I
then
had
made
them winning this and then later
Okay,
switched
all
it
right.
to a loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has a lot of pent-up aggression and revenge built up inside of him, and some of it is going to get taken out on the Vikings in week 2.
You're
division
saying
round.
Aaron Rodgers holds a grudge? What?
Shocking, I know. Shocking, I know.
Never heard of that before.
Week 3 is an easy, feel-good,
Propaganda.
get-well game after a loss in Green Bay, and you're going to beat Oakland to get to 2-1. And I think if you told the Vikings, are you cool with 2-1 first 3 games, especially against Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, I think you'd probably sign up for that. So
Sure.
2-1
Yeah.
after the first 2 games.
Mhm.
At
I
Chicago,
thought you weren't going to do that, though. You weren't going to keep track of the record as we go along.
it's really easy math after 3 games.
For some of us.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get confused around week 9 and it'll turn into great fun.
All right, week 3 or week 4 against Chicago, I'm going to say that's a loss as well.
Okay.
You're grinding on the road early in the season. Week 5 at Giants, easy win. That might be a 10-point road win, which you don't get a lot of 10-point road wins. That's a 10-point road
I feel like those first 5 games were very clear. Like as far as what we all thought, it was pretty crystal clear.
Some of these, I mean, the next 3 games are very clear to me as well. They beat Philadelphia at home.
Mhm.
I told you guys a couple days ago, Mike Zimmer won't sleep the whole week. The Philadelphia loss in the NFC Championship game, every time he faces Philadelphia now, I feel like he has to make up for the most embarrassing loss of his career.
I think that the trend under Doug Peterson with that Eagles team is they kind of get off to slow starts and then find their footing and find their rhythm later in the season.
Yeah.
So I think both the Raiders and the Eagles, I think, are going to get better as this season goes along. So I think that they fell in the right spot of the Vikings schedule for them.
Yeah, that's fair analysis. At Detroit in week 7, that's a win. I know that Detroit has been kind of a spotty thing for Mike Zimmer, but they're beating this Detroit team in week 7. And then they're going to come back home in week 8 against Case Keenum and the Washington Redskins as Judd does the choking motion.
Oh, Cousins been picked up again?
And that's a primetime game. So you have a lot of forces here. You've got a Kirk Cousins primetime game, and he's been terrible in his career in primetime.
Yes.
What is he, like
I love
4
where
and
this is
13 or
going.
something in primetime?
I've
You've got
hold on.
the Case
I'll find it.
Keenum
Keep
revenge
talking.
factor.
Yep.
And but it's possible for two things to be true. It's possible for Kirk Cousins to not play well in primetime and for you to still beat a bad quarterback in Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
I agree.
The Vikings are going to beat Washington.
The Redskins are god awful.
And Case Keenum is not that good. Case Keenum had a career 12-week run with the Vikings. He put the glass slipper on for 12 weeks. Let's not overrate what he is.
Even the big stage jitters that Kirk Cousins seems to get, I think they can even overcome that because the Redskins are so bad.
Yeah.
Dude, let's see here. I was trying
Judd's
to find.
clenching his
I was
teeth
trying
through
to
this
find- no,
positive analysis.
No, I was trying to find
Can't
Cousins.
handle all the
No,
positivity.
I'm trying to find Cousins 5 and 13 in primetime.
So, okay, I said 4 and 13.
5 and 13.
Sorry, Kirk, I shorted
You
you.
sold him short.
5 and
How
13.
dare you, sir?
Darn. He's going to use that as motivation this year.
Peterson takes the handoff at the 7. He's to the 10. He's to the 15. He's breaking loose. Pete Adrian Peterson.
Forgot
his
about that.
third touchdown of the night.
This is a double revenge game for.
Did you think I could do
Washington.
it? Did you think I could do it?
That is true. I'm actually more worried about Peterson running for $175 and 3 touchdowns than I am Case Keenum throwing for 300 and 3 touchdowns.
Case Keenum's going to throw 4 touchdown passes just to Adrian Peterson alone.
Wow.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah, exactly right, Jonathan.
That's binding, by the way. You don't make
I
predictions
already
like that
have
on
to
this
write
show.
that down for that game, by the way.
I got to do it. I'll write that down off this for tomorrow. I didn't even think of that yet.
Jeb, will you do a straight up week 8? Write that down. Just 3 write that down tomorrow.
You know what?
Just for week 8.
You know what? I am so excited for this game. This is the linchpin game of the Vikings 2019 season.
All right, week 9.
Okay, so win though, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all
Week 9 at Kansas City. I can't, in good conscience, give the Vikings a win there. That's an amazingly difficult place to play. Period. And that offense and that quarterback. So that's a loss in week 9.
Mm-hmm.
After 1, 2, 3. What do I have? 4 straight wins going into that. Dallas week 10, Sunday night. So another primetime game for Kirk Cousins.
This is where I see the primetime jitters getting Kirk Cousins.
I agree with Rami. I think they lose back-to-back road games there, week 9 and week 10.
You two are
Season's
so
coming
negative.
apart.
I give them a win in this game. I say they go to Dallas and they win. You see, you guys, this is the
Season's
problem.
starting to come apart here.
But
This is
But
the problem.
here's the thing. So you're not acing all these primetime games with Kirk. Like he's
No,
not going from
right.
5 and
I just got the
13
Washington game being the loss.
and there's 5 primetime games on the schedule.
Correct.
And they might even that week 17 game might get flexed at some point too, right? Actually, those week 17
They
games
don't
are all
get-
at 3
they
o'clock
don't
now.
get
So,
flexed.
and there are some. If you want to count these, I'd like to know his record in the 3 o'clock national primetime slot too, because like those are similar.
You sure
Now
you want to
you're
know
getting
that?
Specific.
And I'm not sure that you want to know that. It might depress you even more.
Go look that up. No, I'm
Just
just kidding.
bad.
All right, home against Denver, week 11. Joe Flacco. That's a get well game after 2 straight losses going into a bye.
Mhm.
So week 12 bye.
Mhm.
And ordinarily you'd say, man, at Seattle, another primetime game. It's not an easy place to win. But here's the but. It's not like Seattle has Russell Wilson, and they've been a team kind of in transition, and they win 9, 10, 11 games because of Russell Wilson. If you give Mike Zimmer 2 full weeks to prepare, and they did a great job defensively last year against Seattle. They just couldn't score a point, right?
Right.
So I think they win an ugly game on Monday night against Seattle,
In
week
Seattle.
13, strictly because of the bye. You're giving Mike Zimmer a couple weeks to prepare in this instance.
And that would bring Kirk Cousins' record in Monday Night Football games to 1-7.
Yeah, he's 0-7.
He's 0-7 in Monday Night Football
Will they
games.
carry him off the field even if they win 9-6 for winning his first Monday Night
They'll
Football
still
game?
be so mad about that Washington loss that they won't be able to stand him. Okay, so
Do you dump
So you gotta
Gatorade
win.
on Kirk Cousins' head if he breaks the 0-7 stretch?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And then throw a parade.
he gets sick and can't play in the next game against Detroit.
Okay, week 14, home against the Lions. That's another win for the
Okay.
Vikings.
Okay.
Yep.
So a couple wins against silver pantsed teams. Although the Seahawks don't really have silver pants anymore. They used to, though, when I was a kid, right? In the 90s.
I don't remember.
At,
Sure, you're right.
at the Chargers in week 15, Sunday night. So you're traveling. It's prime time. I got the Vikings losing that game.
Okay.
And then week 16 home against Green Bay, revenge win after losing in week 2.
Okay.
And then a win against Chicago in week 17,
Oh, boy.
possibly with division on the line or playoffs on the line. So there it is.
Mackey.
What do I have, man?
Fountain of positivity here. You have him at 11-5.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Goodness gracious,
11 and
man.
5.
Wow.
11 and 5. You just saved
turn
jobs.
this up.
Yeah.
That's right.
11-5. You writing that down?
Yeah, we should write these down tomorrow. That's a good. Yeah, we should.
Well, we're going to pick again after the draft, I would assume.
Yeah,
right?
should we
'Cause,
write-
like if the Vikings draft a left tackle, I might have them winning that game against the Chargers.
That's true. You could have them at like
14-2.
13,
We're gonna pick
14
after the
wins.
draft. We're going to pick after rookie OTAs. We're going to pick after everything.
Rookie OTAs.